Mm-hmm. It's been a long time since I've done this. Hey, how's it going? Hmm. Figuring out the. Been a very long time since I've live streamed. So let's see here. Okay, thanks for joining in. Getting a few people in here now. Hope you guys had a good holiday. Yeah, Christmas was good. Did a lot of bouncing around. I think next year I'm just gonna stay put, and if people want to come see me, they can come see me because last couple years all I do is bounce around like 3 or 4 different houses, and it is getting old. How was your guys's? Mm-hmm. Went and looked at a very old vertical turret lathe today. It's it's old, so and it's been out in the weather for 10 years. So I don't know about this one. Yeah, I had my it was just me in the morning, and then I had my kids the second half of the day. Actually, the last place I went for dinner that day was my ex. I'm on super good terms with my ex-wife, so I went to dinner at her parents with the kids and brought them home afterwards. Christmas was good, yeah. It's actually been pretty above averagely warm here this winter so far. No snow. We've been up in the 40s most days. Yeah, it sucks that they left it outside. What it is it's a bigger, well-known machine shop here, and they pulled it out of service when the old guy who ran it retired, and because he wanted it, so they set it aside in their yard, and holding it. He keeps saying he's going to build a lean-to off his shop or something for it. But they're finally getting tired of it sitting there. But it's late 1800s uh, vertical turret lathe. Not very big, probably oh 20, maybe a 30-inch chuck. But and not only has it been sitting outside, it's been sitting outside on its base, just in the dirt. So not even on boards or anything. So we might be passing on that one. Actually, this weekend's plan. Here's the big Kearney Trekker vertical mill. We need to get it way over here. So we got to move. The Shaper's almost moved. The Van Norman's almost moved. Yeah, it's going to be tight back here. Yeah, it was a flat belt, and then they did the typical Model A or Model T 3-speed transmission change to it. And that part's actually been, it's actually pretty well done. As if you wanted to change the speeds on the fly, they actually incorporated a clutch into it, a foot clutch, which you don't typically see when they do that. But you know, of course, the belt's all rotted away. It still moves. You can still move everything, so that was kind of surprising. Yeah, we'll get some of the stuff moved. The big vertical mill going because I'd really like to get that thing up and running. I'd like to get a big shipping container here, but the shop here is attached to my house. And I have enough room on the side, but there's an irrigation easement. There's like a 6-foot irrigation easement off the property line. So I can't put anything over there. That's permanent. I've looked at that. The Lucas is coming along nicely. That's what actually the computer is sitting on. I'm going to run, I shifted it about a foot the other day. And I just got to run the cable. It's going to go up here and then over to the breaker box for it, which is further this way. And it's ready to go. Mine only has a 5-horse single-phase motor, which seems small for it and doesn't look like it's the original motor. So I got a 7.5-horse 3-phase motor. I think I'm going to put on it. I've run it, but with the 5-horse motor, and some of the ways weren't super cleaned up and stuff then. It seems like it was struggling a bit, and the motor on it is ancient. So I'm going to put that 7.5 horse on it and then run that, see how it goes. Because I don't think the 5-horse was the original rated horsepower for it. Because I know someone that has about the same year-ish as mine. It has a 10. I don't know if his is original either. But for as big as the machine is and all the stuff it drives, a 5-horse is a little underpowered, in my opinion. It's I'm not the biggest fan of where it and the big LeBlanc lathe are. They're just so big. They kind of have to be where they have to be. I would like to have actually had them a little bit further in the back, but I'm not going to take everything out of the shop. Yeah, his is a 41, just like mine. Newer. The patent date on Hey, back. Sorry, internet's being spotty. Yeah. Age to it. Sorry, the internet is very, very poor here. They're in the midst of changing us over to fiber. So the last month, the internet has been horrible here. Okay, hold on. Yeah. About that as a test one, and the internet is about bad on the shop, so we're gonna go inside. Open. Oh, there we go. I saw. Sorry, the internet is poor in the shop, and like I said, they're getting ready to connect us to fiber and stuff. So here we go. On here. Now we're in the house. Okay. Get down here. Yeah, I'm really excited to get the fiber internet. And I don't know if it's just because of the shop or whatever, but the internet really spotty out there. Do I sell my forklift? Yes, I have two forklifts right now. I don't have the really little one anymore. I gave that to Cody at Hidden World Forge. So I have the cat one you may have seen. I'm actually rebuilding the mass cylinder on it this week. And then I need to pull the head off it and flatten it because it previous owners ran it without a fuel pump or a water pump for a while, so it got a little hot. But still have that one. And then we picked up me and my uncle in the city next to us picked up a free forklift that just had a starter out in it. So it should be here hopefully soon. So we'll have two here. We'll have one inside the shop. The new one we got's a little smaller. That'll be in the shop forklift. Then we'll have the one that you've seen in some videos. That would just be the driveway one for unloading stuff. Yeah, that's never gonna get rid of them. Except for the small one I got rid of to Cody because he could really use it. The full size ones, I'll never get rid of them. They're 9-day difference in loading and unloading stuff and pushing stuff. And when I get the only time I'd ever consider completely reorganizing the shop is when I have them both going, because the lathe and the radial arm drill does not fit through the door. I had to take it apart to get it into the shop. So it's between the trusses. It's going to be between. I'm not going to take it apart again. It was the biggest pain thing to mess with was that drill press. So it is where it is. I'll plan everything else around it. Yeah, and I went a long time just with a small showed in some videos, we used to have an old Mitsubishi tractor with a front loader. That's not a forklift. It's been a night and day difference having the forklifts, especially when you're unloading parts from customers' vehicles. You really want something that will lift stuff and be sturdy. It's not going to sag. It's not going to bleed down. I'm actually in the process now of building a much larger gantry crane, wheeled gantry crane than I have. And I'm going to build a 2-ton, probably 20-foot arm jib crane. I have most of the steel for it, and I have the engineered drawings for the footings a buddy of mine did for how much concrete and stuff. So we'll get that going. And that's all. A lot of stuff's going to happen this summer. I got a lot of plans for this spring and summer. I'm really looking forward to a lot of things that will be going on here. So, machine-wise, my Hypermech 15 by 50 lathe. I need to get over to my buddy's house that has the gearbox for it so I can get it back together. Well, it's together, but it's not powered anyway. So, get that going because I really like that lathe. And I have a lot of chucks and face plates and drive plates for that machine. Yeah, I've been wanting a jib crane forever here. I'm in a very residential area. So to get approval for the jib crane, because I had access to my old bridge crane, but it went too close to the road, so I couldn't put it in. But the jib crane somehow counts as a flagpole. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. What is this tool? I like doing those videos too. I have a lot of stuff I need to do those shorts on. I like to leave those to that one short I did on that nail puller thing. Man, that's my first viral video for me. That thing just exploded. That was cool. I got a lot of old tools out there. I have buckets and buckets and buckets of tools out in my shed. Yeah, I'm gathering. I go to the scrapyard and buy a bunch of old big rebar. So I'm getting the metal for the concrete base of it right now set up. And then picked up a bunch of 1-inch rebar last week at the scrapyard. And then I think I need to I have to check the plans again, like 12 yards concrete in. So then you decide exactly where in the driveway I'm going to put it. Do you mean my mini split heater cooler thing? If you do, that one's just for the shop, and my shop's too big for it. The ceilings are way, way too open. It takes the chill off in there is about all it does. It does okay at cooling, but when it gets in the 20s and 30s here, it doesn't keep up. Especially once the machines get cold, they hold that cold. When I first moved in here, there was a pellet stove out there too, and I used to have a homemade waste oil burner. That worked pretty good out there. I might do something like that. But yeah, insulating the ceiling would go a long way, and putting some fans in. So it does okay if you're by it, it's pretty warm. Like the lathe right underneath it, that area stays nice. But overall. And then I have one big door in the front of the shop, and when I open the door, it takes it a while to recover. So, and I had the option to buy another used one from a friend, but it's pretty power hungry. And it adds like $80 or $90 a month to my bill when it's running all winter. And I've had the coolant, the Freon charge checked in it because it's always defrosting. But I don't know that much about that stuff. So yeah, but tomorrow me and my boy are going to move a lot of the machines in the shop. The shaper, the Van Norman milling machine, Solberga drill press. I'm giving that to Cody at Hidden World Forge. I'm giving him the small Comet vertical mill. It's a Bridgeport clone. That's part of the trade for the Kearney Trekker vertical mill. Kind of a three-way trade. He traded his radial arm drill to the guy for the mill, and I'm going to give him my mill and drill for that mill. So he's getting ready to move out to his property, and he's got some cool ideas. So if you guys don't watch his channel, it's Hidden World Forge. I would definitely check it out. Very clever guy, very good machinist. Puts out some cool stuff. And then I'm going to go through my welders and maybe downsize some of those so I can fit some more machines there. Hey, Mike, nice to see you. It's been a while. In my spare room here because my internet is terrible out in the shop at the moment. So yeah, lots of things. Do some more videos on my tractor out there. Been tinkering with it. Got it running. It's an old Ford 800 series. Cool little tractor. And looking at a really not huge forklift, but one of the ones with the 4 tires in front. I think it's 12,000 pound. But it's missing the steering column out of it. So I'm going to look at it here soon, fire it up and stuff, and I don't know what it's going to take to replace that. I don't know how one removes the steering column out of it and then just doesn't have it anymore. But okay, Tom, well, thanks for hopping on. I think I'm going to hop on probably most Friday. It'll be earlier than tonight. Tonight was just really impromptu. I think Thursday nights or Friday nights earlier. I'm going to pop on. Yes, I do my own hydraulic cylinder work. I do quite a bit of hydraulic cylinder work for the farmers and stuff out here. A lot of, just replacing seals and stuff, boring out rod ends, putting in bushings. Don't do many shafts as I used to. I can do turned and polished shafts, but not chromed rods, obviously. But a lot of that work has just not come up lately. But I do 40 or 50 rebuilds a year on hydraulic cylinders. It's pretty easy most of the time, unless the gland nut's stuck. But I got ways around that. Then I've done some shortening of the tie rod cylinders that have the bolts that hold the glands together. I've put orifices in some of them when they have like big swing arms for sprayer booms and stuff like that. You don't want the hydraulic cylinder to swing out really fast, so you put orifice adapters in it to control the rate of flow that goes into the cylinder, so nothing tips over. So yeah, this week I really need to pull the cylinders off that the mass cylinders off mine and redo them, because I've grossly overloaded it many times, pushing stuff into the shop, lifting stuff into the shop. So go through all those. Yeah, most of the work I do is for small farmers, so I get a lot of that stuff. Yeah, they can be. They can be for sure. This is my spare room. Got my newborn baby's stuff collecting in here at the moment. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do some more welding videos too. I hate doing welding videos. The welding community on YouTube is the most toxic thing anyone can do. No one ever likes anything anyone else does, and so that's why I don't show. I do a lot of stick welding here. I do a lot of re-earing buckets, putting new floors in buckets, stuff like that, and I don't show hardly any of it. A lot of it's very repetitive, so I'm not gonna do a monthly video of me re-earing a bucket once it's me welding plates to a bucket. So I'll try to show more of that. I need to figure out a lens thing for the camera so you guys can watch the actual weld. I tried putting my phone, because I record all my videos on my phone. And I tried to put my phone in front of a welding helmet, and the glare and stuff was terrible. So I'll look more into that. And probably this year I'll get an actual camera to film my videos, not just use my iPhone for everything. So I'll do stuff like that. I will probably never edit my videos. I have no interest in that whatsoever. I'm not a computer person, so I'd have to look into that a lot to do that. I do. It's a homemade thing. I used to have a York boring bar setup, but the gearbox on it grenaded. So I have all the bars and stuff from it, and you can get away, especially on like backhoe buckets and stuff like that. You can get away with some pretty crude setups. Just pillow blocks and plates welded and get everything in line. You can make your own setup cones very easily. There's actually a lot of play that you can have in those, and they still work perfectly fine. So, especially on the smaller the machines, like the JCB machines and stuff, some of them only have like 1-inch arms. You see how wore they get when they come in, and they're still working. They're just sloppy. So, but yeah, you don't need a really high-end bar to do a lot of that stuff. You can easily make it with good quality bearings, plates. It's just the setup takes longer. I have a set of old cones and stuff that came from the York, and some threaded bushings to kind of squeeze them. But and I don't bore weld. I bore out and make new bushings. Then some customers want them welded in. I do interference fit, based on the OD of the bushing. but some guys want a few tacks here and there. Out and do bore welding. I just bore it out, put a new bushing in. Because generally they're not, the work for the farmers I do, they're not like super war. I mean, they're egg shaped, but you're not going to get like 150 thou wear in it. So I do a lot of work on old John Deere backhoes and Construction Kings and stuff like that. And do a fair bit. One thing I need to bring you guys with me on is some pin extractions on construction equipment. Because that's something I do fairly regularly. A couple ways I do it. There's no secret to how to get them out, but I do the weld a threaded rod on with a hollow cylinder, like a hydraulic cylinder. Have a lot of good luck with that. Some, if I have to, I'll exothermically pierce them, but that is getting crazy expensive. I don't like those. The rods are getting expensive, and when you're on your truck, you go through a huge amount of oxygen, just huge. So that's one of those jobs you either like to get paid up front for, or you really have to know the person, because you have a lot invested in it when you do it. Because the last pack of those rods I bought from my guy, they were $6 a rod, and they come in packs of 25 or so. And you go through oxygen tanks like, they don't last at all when you're doing that in the field. So it gets crazy expensive really fast. But I have had to exothermically remove some. I thought about making a drilling setup to drill through them, with a taper shank drill bits. I might look into that setup a bit more. But the welding the threaded rod on them with the hollow cylinders has worked very well for me. So definitely next time I do one of those, I'll make a video on it. And probably spring, I will have some of that work. So yeah, the next couple videos will be stuff in the shop, stuff I'm rearranging. Yeah, John Deere stuff is expensive. You can find most of it anywhere else. I'm not wearing my son's John Deere hat because I didn't want to wear my other hat. Not a fan of John Deere at all. The company or that, especially their repair stuff, their overcosting of their parts. I would never buy any seals or anything from John Deere because they're all common parts. Nothing's proprietary that I've ever come across. People fall in love with the name. There's lots of good stuff out there. But yeah, all their parts are stupid expensive. Especially, I know a bunch of people buy those mowers that say John Deere. They're not made by John Deere. There's nothing special about those mowers. They have a sticker on the motor that says specifically built for John Deere. And that's about it. If you get any of those, get the one with the Kawasaki engines. Just, you pay a lot for that name. And in my opinion, the quality of that name is dwindling. And I work on a lot of farm equipment. So used to do more motor work for it, but I don't care for doing motor work anymore. I got the machines. I don't have dedicated automotive machine work stuff for heads and stuff. I can do them on my mill. They're small enough and stuff, but I don't care for doing motor work because if you don't have the right machines, the setup at an automotive machine shop, their setup time is so far less that you first of all can't be competitive really, because they're surfacing machines and stuff they have jigs and everything, so they can get a motor in there in 20 minutes, where it'll take me an hour or two. So I just don't care for automotive machining. And for the welding, I don't do any exhaust welding, any stuff like that. Because 90% of the welding jobs people want you to do on cars is either want you to take their cat out, and I'm not going to do that, or they're super rusty exhaust patched up, but they don't want to properly do it. They just want enough to get them by. And nope. So we'll stay on here for a bit longer. Just felt like getting online, doing a live stream. Hydrant work's going well. For my day job, I work on, that's one of the things I do is work on hydrants. And then I'm getting ready to join with a volunteer firefighter fire department a couple cities over, and for some reason there the water district doesn't take care of the hydrants, the firefighters do. So I'm going to join up with them because they don't know anything about them. Then I enjoy working on fire hydrants. It's interesting work. It's important work. And I'm really getting into a lot of the parts are really simple, except for the parts that are like brass castings and stuff. The rest of it's just O-rings and metal shafts. So I'm actually going to do a video in 2 weeks about me making a shaft, because some of the main shafts are like $300 or $400, and all it is a piece of cold rolled with a thread on one end and 2 holes drilled in it. So and then there's, with the threads and stuff in them, there's quite a bit of tolerance built into them. I mean, it's not delicate work, so there might be another avenue to bring some more money coming into the shop. I got some more special tools in the works for that too. That might be patentable, if that makes sense. Not sure about that as an auto purge system. Like auto flushing, and I've worked on stuff like that. For keeping water in the line. Most my working career has been in the drinking water field. So I've done a lot of work with that kind of stuff. Over 17 years of it. There have been pumps, PRVs, hydrants, main lines, chemical testing, chemical injecting, all that stuff. Worked on a lot of pumps, and then irrigation wise too. Yeah, I've worked on some auto flush stuff for end of the line stuff to keep the chlorine levels up. We'll stop my. This stuff. I'm new to StreamYard, so there's stuff popping up here. I'm gonna stop my cam here for 1 second here. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, they're messing around with the phone charger there. So yeah, I'll stand here for a few more minutes. I'll try to set up a day a week where I do a more scheduled one. Try to do it at the same time during the week. And once I get the fiber internet, I'll be out in the shop instead of in the spare room of my house. So actually, I got stuff to do out there tonight. So I guess we'll call it. It's been about 45 minutes. Do a little test for StreamYard because I don't think I've ever used StreamYard before. So I guess we will call it a day. So you're 60 watching. Thank you guys. Thank everyone who watched. Thanks for the comments. Enjoy having conversations with you guys and answering questions and stuff like that. Yeah, I got some cool stuff coming this week and next week too. As long as the weather holds out. Go look at another machine or so for the shop and maybe move one machine out. The small reed printed lathe is going to be going to a buddy of mine to make room for other lathes because I have 3 in the shop right now. So I don't need 3. I could use that space for a different machine. So yeah, thanks for dropping by. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Have a good night.